Connect session on April 25th, Friday. I hope you all are excited about the weekend coming up and you guys are all planned out as to how you're going to be spending your weekend towards your GMAT prep. So folks who are joining us for the first time, can you tell me where you are joining us from and also what stage of GMAT prep you are at, so that as I address questions that are that have already been posted, I can kind of tweak them or morph them so that you also get value add from those responses. I see folks are trickling in right now, so good. All right, so let's get a lot of homework from yesterday. I see Sagnik has already joined, and I'm just kind of looking at when do we start discussing the homework. So Sagnik has joined here. Keshav has also joined. So I'm just highlighting those names here. Anil is not here still. Disha is not here. Okay. Yadunath is here as well. And I have looked at your detailed entry as well, Yadunath. So we'll talk about that also. I'm still waiting for Saurav. There was no homework for you, but I did see an entry from you. Okay. All right. So before we get started, what I would want to do is I just launched our intro video for Coach Connect on YouTube. So if you guys could just go in and put in some comments, that would really help. I've also posted a LinkedIn post on it, and I know that a number of you would not want to go on LinkedIn and post about that. Totally acknowledge that and understand that. So, but yes, YouTube should not be a problem, right? Where is my web link here? Links. Just get that here. Okay, here you go. I'm going to launch this video for all of you so that you guys can just, maybe put in your comments about what kind of value you actually get from Coach Connect. That would really help. That would help, other students make the decision to come and start attending these sessions. All right. Obviously, folks who are joining for the first time, I would not expect you guys to put anything over there. Okay. So let's now look at Shivani, okay, so Jeevan, initial stage based in Canada. Okay, so good evening to you. Have I started recording this session? Yes, I have. Okay. Shivani is doing CR cementing, facing issues there. All right. So Jeevan started with master comprehension for verbal. Now, I want to get some feedback on master comprehension course. Um, I do plan on enhancing that course, and for that I would want maybe towards the later part of the session, if you guys could compose. I'll ask some specific questions for master comprehension, and I'll see where are certain sticking points and what is it that you get from this course, because I believe this course was not I believe I know that this course has gone through multiple revisions, and now that sentence correction is out of picture from the GMAT exam, there are certain bridges that are no longer there, and that bridge used to be offered by sentence correction course. So I want to understand the gaps that exist, and I want to bridge those gaps, right? And for that, I would need feedback from all of you. So maybe we can do that towards the later part of the session. Okay. Yeah, so I will hold off on that feedback towards the later part of the session, right? Maybe around 9:15, if you guys can give me a reminder, that would be good. Okay. All right. So let's get started with this. I see. Let me hide this over here. Disha is also here. Because yesterday's session went pretty well, I believe, from the standpoint of the learnings that we had and the kind of introspection that we needed to do. So let's see, what did Disha evaluate sectional mock results and update her skill data to reflect recent improvements? So Disha, were you able to take sectional mock? What is it that you were able to do? Because yes, and what was your score? How did that go? And all of you, if you can put in your email addresses here, then that would be good, because that helps me access your account if I need to. 81 not Sukhjeevan, not here. Please put it in the can you delete that message? So let's look at this. So V81. Now, did you do the analysis, Disha? Where did you falter? Have you done that analysis? So I also want to show Disha's analysis of the description that she had done. So note taking. So this is from one of our previous sessions. So let me bring that up as well over here. So really good job there, Disha. So this was one of the passages that was very detail oriented. I believe we did this passage on Tuesday, right? On April 22nd. So those of you who want to look at the analysis of that passage, you guys can look at the April 22nd recording. But what you see over here is so what I had asked Disha to do was to the problem that Disha and a lot of other students were facing was that whenever they would look at detail in a passage, they would skip or they would skim those details. And that works when detail is a part of the paragraph. But when detail itself composes of the entire passage or paragraph, you cannot skim through those, because really the author intends for you to understand the linkages over there, draw inferences within that descriptive part of the paragraph. So that's the conversation that we had, and I asked Disha to go back, and I in fact asked lots of other folks to also go back and do the flowchart analysis, create your own notes from that particular passage. Disha is the one who actually submitted that, so this is good. I like how you have done this. You've created underground part over here, melting of S, remove ash. Now again, there are certain shorthand notes that you can use as well. For example, instead of writing the word remove, you can just take an arrow and then send that thing out. So that can also speed up your process. Pass through set of filters. Again, you are writing down the text. That is good. If it's not taking you too much time, that's fine, but pass through set of filters, express that visually, just make some filters and then send certain stuff out, right? So again, it all depends on how much visual you are in terms of creating your notes, and whether you want to go that route or not. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned a number of times, note taking is a very personal activity. Okay, no, folks don't, everybody is not required to take notes. Okay, it's one of the ways in which you can assimilate the passage to the right degree. Okay, it's one of the ways. I personally like taking notes, and I personally like taking visual notes, right? And which is where a lot of my feedback would come from. But that doesn't mean that you adopt that feedback blindly. Okay, understand the intent behind it. Okay, and because since we are on the topic of note taking, I will also share with all of you a video that let me see who had shared with me yesterday, and and I would want all of you to go through that, because that's another extreme wherein there is no note taking being done, but the passage is being assimilated in the optimum manner. Okay, so that's what we will be doing. But over here, so I see, Disha, that you are from technical background, which is where I see SO2, SO3, and I see V2O5 and all that. So good works. H2O steam. So yeah, so this is good. And how much time did you take to create these? And I would say, after you created this, Disha, did you have a much more solid understanding? 4 minutes for the entire passage or for this paragraph? And I understand that the previous paragraph was anyway a very short paragraph. This para, okay, that works. And then did you have a much better clarity of the passage once you made these notes? So yeah, feel free to request for a microphone, because this is important. Again, note taking for the sake of note taking doesn't make sense, but I want to see what was the impact of that. Go ahead, Disha.
Am I audible? Good morning, Payal. Am I audible?
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
My speaker was
Uh,
muted. Yeah.
okay. So, hi, Payal. Actually, what happened was after the previous session, I went through this passage again, and again I did it yesterday. So I just felt like I already knew what is happening. So I am just not able to honestly say ki if it is actually because of this, because I have already, like, because when I was
Mhm.
writing this na, from SO2 to SO3, I remembered that it was there. So
Yeah, yeah.
that thing was already there. Yes. So that
Okay,
is
that's fine.
one thing.
Now, beyond this, because you took a sectional mock yesterday, right?
Yes.
So how was that experience? Were you did you take notes consciously? What changed in your process from yeah, right, yes.
Yes, uh, when I took the sectional mock today morning itself, it was like the main problem I faced was I just have like I was have there was a lack of momentum. Like I was taking
Mhm,
a lot of time, like throughout the whole, not only for CR or RC or anything. Like
mhm,
generally for CRs also, I take 1 minute 46 seconds, 45 seconds, like that. But I was taking 2 minutes or something like that. And all. But for RC, I have put like sufficient amount of time and took notes and did everything. But later part of the mock, I was under a little bit of time pressure that I need to
mhm,
finish it, and I could see that I had like 7 minutes, and I had I
mhm.
had 14 minutes, and I had 7 minutes left for sorry, seven questions left from
Yeah,
fifth.
and I can see that here. I can
Yes,
see that here.
like that.
So you have already done the so let's take a few moments to analyze this sectional mock, and what this is going to do is help you all as well understand how is it that after you take a mock or after you take a quiz, how is it that you analyze those results. We won't go as much into the subject matter part of it. From subject matter standpoint, we're just going to talk about what are the aspects when Disha does the strategic review that she should be focusing on. Okay. Um, so the good stuff over here is this. So tell me first of all, these last two CR questions. Did you truly attempt those, or were these just lucky
Yes, yes.
guesses?
The one thing I liked about those two questions were my overthinking was missing. Like in previous question, in few questions, I was so like I was confused between some choices, and I will overthink this. And for that, I have taken 40 seconds extra, and like somewhere I have even taken 1 minute extra, which is like not
Ah,
acceptable at all. So like
okay.
and I needed to move on, but I spent those extra times, which was not actually required. But for these two, I find these I was actually lucky also that these two were not those kind of question where you need to pay attention to each and every question. And I just looked and I could see. Like if you go to that question, the question is the number 14, right? Just a
Mm-hmm.
second. Uh,
That's interesting.
yes, like for mm,
So that's okay, Disha.
yes,
As long as you know that you answered these questions for the right reason, right? And which is where a lot
yes,
of introspection happens at that personal level, because you know exactly what it is that you're doing, right? So if you
yes,
are saying, so for these two questions, what I would rule again, median time is 2.5 minutes, right? So you have to be, and that doesn't always mean that you should be, because that median time gives you a yardstick, okay, so that you can measure your performance against that. Now, if you are 100 200% sure that you rejected all the incorrect answer choices on solid grounds and you selected the correct answer on solid grounds, then that 40 seconds is absolutely fine. Okay, and this is for everybody. Whenever you, yeah, so now tell me, for this particular question, because you have done CR analysis, right? So for this
Yes.
question, are you 100% sure that you answered it for the right reasons?
I was 200% sure that I answered it for the right reason. But if I had more time, now I would have analyzed it more, because here
Okay.
in the answer, here was the for the last second last question, the all the answer choices were about something else, and only one answer was regarding the conclusion actually which it has asked for. Like
Mhm.
it was
Okay.
only one answer which was actually talking about the conclusion that author has given. So I
Mhm.
could reject all the answers very quickly because it was not related at all. But
Mhm.
so I don't think all the time this will be the case. I was kind of lucky getting a question in the later part.
See, I see that part, and you can see that from the answer choice distribution as well, right? But when you say that all, so A and C could be grouped together, right? But B and
Yes.
D are popular choices, right? Yes, you don't have, see, in hard questions, what you'll see is either there is one very popular incorrect answer choice, or
Yes.
there are two generally popular incorrect answer choices, right? Because again, the total sum has to be 100%, right? For all the answer
Yes.
choices. So again, you can kind of take away credit from
Yes.
your performance by saying that you got lucky because of the question that you got. But this
Yes.
is a very, very valid kind of a question format, right? So,
Yes.
and if it is identifying certain aspect of your problem solving wherein you tend to overthink, then what I would suggest is that the next so let's keep this as a strategy for your next attempt of questions, wherein you select the first possible mark the choice, and with whatever kind of analysis that you need to do, and then don't come back to it. Okay, don't do that overthinking, right? and
Yes.
then and then let's see as to what your accuracy is.
Yes.
Okay, so we will need to try that out. Okay, because and again, that kind of introspection comes when you are in that environment wherein you are kind of pushing yourself. Okay, now how about in this question? In this question, okay, 62%. Okay, here also is it the similar stuff here?
No, here what was there is like I like other choices, like I'll say, like it the only the first choice uh, describing
Genuine
the
medium. Yeah.
goldfish one very correctly. So I could
Uh-huh.
like reject
Right,
very
right.
like it reject other choices very easily. So I did
See
not
that
take much.
that one is anyways a medium question, so I don't really pay much heed to that. You got that one right. So let's go here 1 minute. One more moment here. Medium, you got all correct. Hard. Now the four question. Let's look at CR. Um, I'll do hard. So the boldface question that you got wrong and the
Yes.
strengthened one. What were the reasons for that?
Yes, I like it is a very interesting question
Mm-hmm.
actually. You know, like the
Mm-hmm.
boldface one, like they, if you see the boldface one statement, it will not seem to be a evidence to anything. It's just a data point. But I missed this, however, and the implication of this, however. That means the
Mm-hmm.
author is trying to use it against the uh, another conclusion which he has used. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
small thing, but which I missed, and I was confused because I have written in my pre-thinking. I made a chart, and I wrote it as a data point, but I did not write that author has used it against the another conclusion which is mentioned there. So that was
Okay,
my
why did
faltering
you not
point.
do
So I
that?
was very confused between it is for the
Yeah, why
argument
did you not do that, Disha? This is something that we have spoken about in the past. You have to understand the role played by each and every entity in the context of the
yes.
passage. So why did you not do that?
Yes, I actually, yeah, I was just not able to apply it that time, and I think I did not pay enough attention. It was a lack from my part that I could not, uh, you know, focus on that. However, and how it is guiding the uh,
Disha,
guiding the
there
argument
is
or
a bigger problem here then. There's a bigger problem here then.
yes,
Why I'm saying, see, here you've taken similar amount of time as compared to the median time, right? So it's not
yes,
that you spent way too much time or you spent way little time. The word, however, is a keyword for which you really have to understand the implication. That's a given thing, okay? But there is another aspect, which is that what is the role played by every entity? That is an absolute required thing for any CR passage, not just boldface, right? So if you skip through that step, that means somewhere you were rushing through when you were reading this.
yes.
So tell me what was going on.
Actually, when I analyze, I do not think I was rushing while reading the argument. Uh, what
Mm-hmm.
I uh, what I did was like I did not somehow this, however, did not registered in my mind. So I write that, and I according to me, it felt like the author is trying to use just as a data point, which can be used as like against it, because it was mentioned with the other view. So I that
Mm-hmm.
was my faltering point, where I was not thinking ki it was actually used uh, as a actually used against the uh, argument that author is trying to make. That was my faltering
Okay.
point. It was not actually supporting the explanation that the argument challenges, it actually favors it. So that was my faltering point.
So how are you going to fix this?
Like I have written that whenever I'm reading an argument, if I hit
Mm-hmm.
a keyword, I will pause
Mm-hmm.
for 1 second. That is what I have written in my error log.
Then add one more
I have, yes,
add
sorry.
one more thing to it. Add one more thing, pause, and also for every statement, you need to understand the role played by that statement. Okay, and which again goes back to relating it to what you've already read in the previous part of the passage. Okay, so add that additional thing also, which I
Yes.
think you are doing. I'm not saying that you're not doing that, because if you were not doing that, you wouldn't have gotten this hard passage correct. Okay, this is RC hard, and you spent good amount of time reading the passage, so which is where I feel that somewhere you kind of losing your thought process. That is what is happening somewhere, and I think that's where you have to pinpoint. Okay,
Yes.
why that is happening. Now, what happened to this RC passage here? This is the same RC. Okay, this is the same
Same
one.
as
Okay, what
same
happened
as.
here?
Those are, I think those are the questions where it was kind of function type of question, and
Mm-hmm.
I was actually confused. I haven't actually reviewed my RCs yet. I
Okay,
will do it. So I
mm-hmm.
will not be able to give you very clear idea right
That's
now.
okay. That's okay, and I think here you were just short of time, right? Seems like
Yeah,
it.
I was. Yes, I was. I was rushing through these last. Actually, you can say last 4 5 questions itself.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that
got it.
also made. I could have saved a little time while reading the RC if I was not worrying that much about time,
Mhm,
because
that's okay. That's
that
absolutely
pressure
fine.
was there.
Yeah. So see, our goal is to get, and which is where now you're going to pinpoint, you're going to figure out those little tweaks that you have to do in your thought process, and what
Yes.
kind of tweaks will work for what kind of questions or what genre of passages. Those are things that you're going to hone in on. Okay. So I would say, yeah, do a thorough analysis of your RC, and takeaways, the learnings from CR also to your RC, because I think the revelation, the biggest revelation from this is your overthinking attitude. Okay, so I would suggest your CR accuracy is good. The ones again, the questions that you got wrong in CR, reattempt those. You've already done the strategic review, so you have to look at what kind of corrective actions you're getting from that, and then create custom quizzes and implement those corrective actions on those. Okay, before you go on to the next mock. And then for RC, so essentially from every mock, there needs to be a set of corrective actions, and that's something which I'd want you to document and share that with us. Set of corrective actions along with the reasoning for it, and then how are you going to implement those corrective actions as a practice, okay, which is what you're going to be doing on custom quizzes. And then when you move on to next sectional mock, what are those timing strategies, what are those specific strategies that you're going to apply for certain set of questions, certain type of questions, if that's applicable, right? So that is what we're going to be doing now. Okay, makes sense, Disha?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so you should be taking maybe 2 sectional mocks over the weekend, and that's assuming that you can do this preparation as well from one mock to another. Okay, because this weekend is coming in, you can actually fix your verbal and get done with verbal. Okay, if
Yes.
you so how much time will you be able to spend over the weekend?
Like I think I will spend around 7 hours a day.
A
Yes.
day? Okay, good, good. So, yeah, so again, I hope you understand because I may not be available on the weekend to review the stuff, but I hope that you understand because I know the kind of analysis you're doing, that is spot on. Okay, but I want to also guard you against certain things that, for example, this question wherein you didn't link it to the previous part, that worries me a little bit. Okay, so the certain things will be more global aspects, okay, which may certain things may appear to be more global, right? For example, I feel that that's a more global issue, but given that your performance on other questions is good, it may not be as global as I think. It may be that something triggered, something happened at that moment wherein you kind of lost track of your typical process. Because I can't imagine that you're not linking things up. Okay. Which is where I'm a little confused about why is it that you didn't pay attention to that part of the passage. Okay. And that's where you will need to do introspection. Okay. Make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
So when you are now, yeah, go ahead.
I got wrong. Both the CR question I got wrong was actually a focus issue. Like
See,
for another question also, I got it wrong because I rejected the answer choice because I missed one not, which so I rejected at the
mm,
first space that choice, and now I am left with other choice which is not making sense, and I spent
see,
1 minute 4 second extra on that
right.
question.
So now you can see that it's not a reading strategy related issue, which is
Yes.
where I could not accept the fact that you are simply saying that I missed. However, that's a huge thing to miss. You wouldn't be where you are at if you were making those kinds of mistakes. And again, this is something for everybody because Disha has already gotten 60% in her accuracy, right? In her CR and RC L20H. I I know. Okay, so one second. Let me go back to the discussion mode here. Yeah, that's the reason why the kind of mistake that she's talking about, it doesn't make sense for her to have done, right? So Disha, if you are facing those focus issues, I think you have to do certain tweaks in your head as to why that focus issue happened. Okay. If it's happening after a certain number of questions that you attempt, then you need to take a deep breath. Okay. Spend about 15 seconds just recentering yourself. The way we recenter Google Maps, right? The same way you need to recenter your attention span so that you can come back and perform to your ability. Okay. Make sense?
Yes, of course.
Okay, and those points you have to realize. And those are the kinds of insights you will get from your sectional mocks. Because had you
Yes.
attempted this question, if you were attempting it in a low pressure setting, right, you would have answered that question correctly because there is no way you would not have looked at however. Okay, so
Yes.
so those are insights that you have to now get to. If you start to see insights like if you at this point in time, if you start to put in your error log that I did not see the connection that this part made with this other part, or I didn't observe this keyword, or I didn't observe the word not, those are not the root causes. Root causes are something different, which is what you arrived at right now. Does that make sense? That's a
Yes.
huge revelation. So, two huge revelations. You lose your focus. Number two, you overthink.
Yes.
Okay. So now figure out what happened in the RC. Now, RC may be little bit RCT. If you're losing your focus while reading a CR passage, then that same thing will also manifest in RC. And which is why maybe you're able to answer certain questions correctly. Function questions require that next level of processing of the answer choices. So see if that is what is happening when you are answering those kinds of questions. Okay. So now do the analysis with that perspective and send me the analysis. Put that in the put that in the form so that we can discuss that in Tuesday session. But yeah, if you proceed on this path, you should be able to hone in your verbal and then move on to the next part. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Payal.
Oh, you're most welcome, Disha. Good luck. All right. So, Tana, you're saying you're on weekend module. Should you stay here? You should definitely stay here. I know the kind of discussion that we are having right now is pertinent to how is it that you should be um, doing your analysis when you are in the sectional when you are in stage 3. I understand that, but there will be certain other discussion that we will definitely take on. Okay, so definitely stay here, I would suggest. All right, so let's see what else. Parth, what was your homework showing complete CR cementing results and specific strategies? Okay, let me take a look at this. So how about others? So in fact, the discussion that we're going to have, Tana, now will be very applicable for you because you are right now doing the Weakener module. So you'll be able to see how you can incorporate these learnings right away in your process. Okay, so definitely stay. Guys, give me just 2 minutes here. It's very hot, so I have to turn the AC on right now. 1 second. Is the AC not on? It's really hot. Okay. Let's look at what was Parth. Where were we at yesterday with you? I'm just trying to understand. Remind. Let me just look at your notes. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So Parth was supposed to. Let me look at. So I'll give a brief background about what we are discussing here. Parth, have you put in your email address here? Here, I got it. Parth, do you want to explain what we are doing here? What was the learning that you had from yesterday and what was the exercise that you were supposed to do? While I open your account here.
Good morning. So basically,
Good.
I had attempted three cementing quizzes with 50, 30, and 50 being the accuracy. This was hard cementing in standard timing. And basically, there was a threshold of 60% that was put over there. But yesterday, Payal told me to reattempt the questions I had missed due to lack of time. So in every quiz, I had missed around 2 questions towards the end because of a lack of time. I was asked to reattempt this so that we can estimate what my actual potential stood at if I was given that extra time. And that's what I did. And I reattempted those questions. There were around 7 questions. And out of that, I got 5 of them right. And I've written down my exact points for the 2 questions that I did not get right. One of them was an assumption question, and second was the inference. And the inference question was indeed something that took a lot of time to comprehend, and I have to still go back to that because I found it pretty tough. That's question number 10 of the second quiz, which I marked it
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
whatever
All right.
analysis I could understand, I've written it out there. But in general, I found the passage very tough. So I'll go back to that. But for the assumption question that I got wrong, I understood what I was doing wrong. And I know that the 2 points I have to work on is the exact conclusion identification and applying negation test when I'm confused between two options.
Okay.
Because many a times I was understanding the conclusion to be like I was not, the wording wasn't right. So that in a way played on the kind of assumptions I selected as the correct answer. And I've given an explanation of that also. If you see question 9 in the third quiz, that was the question. So yeah, that those
Okay,
were the
one second.
learnings.
Yeah, hold on. So let me just read this here. 1 second. Customer concerns with news right. So for question number 9, you're saying that had you applied the negation test, you would have answered this question correctly. Right?
Right, Payal.
Okay. Okay. In the role played, need to be okay. So I will need to look at this in a little bit more detailed path to give you more constructive feedback. Because again, as where you are at right now, for example, you already had the learning from your previous exercise that you need to apply negation test more diligently, right? Now, why is it that you didn't apply that in this environment is what you have to question. Okay, there are certain, so again, so I look at this in more detail and maybe record a video to basically tell you where I need more specificity or where I need you to, yes, you're very specific about the question, but why is it that you didn't do that, right? So that those are things which I will probe you on, and I'll send you a video on that, and then we can talk about this on Tuesday, right? But the thing is that the learnings that you have from one exercise to another, right? Those learnings, you can't lose sight of those learnings, right? And if you're not applying those learnings, or if you're not able to do negation test in that in that environment at that time, you have to ask yourself why you didn't do that. It's very similar to the feedback that I gave to Disha, right? That if she's losing focus on that, however, and how that part of the passage is linked to the previous part, then the problem is not that you need to do that. The problem is you have to identify why you didn't do it because of the stage that she's in. The same thing applies to you, Parth. You've already done so much of analysis. You've already done so much of introspection. So why are those things coming in right now? Those are things that you have to probe into. Okay. So let me take a look at this a little bit more, and then I'll be able to give you feedback as to whether you are analyzing it in the right way or not, or if you are, then what should be your next steps. Okay. So I'll look at that. Okay.
Since it's a live link, I'll keep adding questions which I've got wrong in whatever analysis I've done. So I believe tomorrow, are you all working tomorrow?
Not really. Again, not on reviewing this stuff, which is why I have set aside, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday mornings for this. But I will take a look at this. Yeah. Okay. So again,
so regardless, I'll keep adding.
No, that's okay. The thing is that my job here is to enable you. Okay. So I will look at this and I will give you my assessment of it, and then you need to go and do that yourself. Okay. So I have enough over here to give you feedback on, but definitely you need to keep adding this for your own analysis. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. But yes, you will stick to the e-GMAT environment. You're not going to go anywhere, right?
Right. I got that.
All right. Okay, so let's take up next question here. I think Darshil, let me, so sort of hard RCs were not added on Tuesday. I think they should be done. I need to get an update on that. They should be done today. Okay. I'll let you know as soon as I get to know about that. Okay. Now, I think Saurav, you were the one who submitted your video, right? For analysis, right? Okay. Can I share that video with other folks? Because I think that will be very helpful for Sagnik did too, Saurabh did too. Whose video did I review? Sorry, I'm getting confused now. Let me go back to my notes. Yeah, Saurav and Sagnik, whose video did I review? Aztec video was Saurav's. Okay. And where did you share that with me on the intercom chat? Loom. Okay. Can you share that link here so that I can have others look at that link as well, Saurav? Please, please do. So I will, okay, so after this, I'm going to look at, I know Darshil has sent me a message, so I'll take a look at his account here, right? And then I will take a look at Abhishek's, okay? Now, while I do that, I want all of you to click on this link and just spend a few minutes understanding how Saurav is doing analysis of the passage. Okay. And this is where I want you to understand how you can take a look at how you can, without even taking notes, the level of analysis that Saurav is able to do. So I want all of you to do that. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, Dunath, I will take that. I can't take everything together, right? So maybe I'll just send you a separate message right after the session, okay? And guys, this is something that you have to realize that I have an hour over here. You have to take in a lot of information from others' learnings, okay? So because all of you face very similar issues, right? So there are these segment of issues that each one of you face, okay? So you have to take in the learnings from there and see how they apply to your case. Okay. um all right, so let me, it's very hot right now. Let me take up Darshil's account here, and I hope you all are watching Saurav's video, because a lot of this is understanding from one another and implementing those understanding. This is where we need to get to. Okay. Let me know when you all are done watching that video. Yeah, press yes if you're done watching that video. Are you guys done? You don't have to watch the whole thing. I think just a few first couple of minutes should be good. So what did you learn from that? Comments here. Linking time periods, linking back to what has been read earlier and skimming over details. Yes. Understanding, comprehending each sentence and linking it as well. See, this is a student who's doing it. It's not me as an expert who's doing it, right? So, do you see that this level of analysis, how much it's going to help in getting the clarity of the passage? How he's briefing after a chunk of that passage and specifying important keyword. Yes, yes. So this is where you need to get to. Now, Saurav, do you want to talk about whether you were always there or whether there has been some shift that has led you to come to this point? Because these are the kinds of learnings that we can have from one another. Okay, and that's why I have this as a more of a community thing. That's what I wanted to become. Go ahead, Saurav.
Hello.
Yes, Saurav, go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Oh, okay. So earlier I was kind of reading the passage and getting a gist of the passage or the gist of the paragraph and then moving on to the
Mm-hmm,
questions.
mm-hmm,
What it was doing is that I was able to get like around 70-75% accuracy I had. But
mm-hmm,
on some of the detailed questions, I would have to go back to the passage. And
mm-hmm,
if the answer choices were written in finer detail, I would have to kind of reread everything again. It would take
mm-hmm,
around 2.5 minutes, and I would still not I would get to a point where I would be like, I've invested a lot of time now, and
mm-hmm,
do I now just make a guess and move on, or do I really commit myself to the question? And that would
mm-hmm,
eventually I would make the decision of moving on. So
mm-hmm,
and making a guess. So now that was what, like, out of 4 questions, I would get 3 right, and I would have invested like around 10 minutes of
mm-hmm.
my time, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
getting nowhere with it. Yeah, I was just stuck with that 70-75% accuracy. The
Mm-hmm,
same thing I saw with MSR, which are like kind of conversation related. I think the CR related questions where two people are talking, and again
mm-hmm,
it's like an RC. Over there, I also had similar accuracy. So
mm-hmm,
now, after my previous 2 sessions here, I kind of now
mm-hmm,
have gone back telling myself that it's okay if I get 75% right, but again, I'll get it right during a lesser time. At least I have saved time, which I was not doing
mm-hmm,
earlier. So now I'm reading
mm-hmm,
a passage in a little more detail. Before I
mm-hmm,
move on, so earlier I would read, get the gist, and move on, right? Now I'm like,
mm-hmm,
when I read, I make sure that I understand the paragraph thoroughly before I move to the next paragraph, because that is
mm-hmm,
helping me connect some of the finer details. You're able to connect that way.
mm-hmm,
If you kind of summarize the paragraph before you move on to the next paragraph, it helps you link the passage also really well, and you
mm-hmm,
kind of pay a little more attention to finer details, because you know that, okay, fine, like in this case, the Aztec passage, right? I think the finer
mm-hmm,
detail is like around this sand and debris, right? I skimmed
mm-hmm,
that one in paragraph 1, telling myself that, okay, this is a detail that I'll just make a mental note of, but I'll move on to the
mm-hmm,
next paragraph. But in the next paragraph, you see it again coming. So you know that you have
mm-hmm.
skimmed it somewhere, but again, it's kind of linking the two passages together. So in case you need to go back, you know how
Yeah,
to link the two info together,
right.
right? I've focused a lot on making sure that I'm focusing on keywords. It's not just for
Mm-hmm,
RC, it's also for CR
mm-hmm,
as well. Because a lot of
mm-hmm,
questions are getting wrong in CR was because I would
mm-hmm,
miss some of these words here and there, and just get a gist of things again. So in a CR, again, you can't get gist of things and move on. You need to understand the argument in finer detail.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
now that I've focused a lot more on the keywords, I'm able to I'm able to get a lot more sense out of the passage.
yes.
The earlier habit that I had was that I would always, whenever read a sentence or I read a paragraph, I would always make sure whether an author has an opinion or a suggestion anywhere in the passage. Because if an author
Mm-hmm,
has an opinion or a suggestion, I would generally expect a question to be on that. So that was my expectation,
mm-hmm,
I was always on the lookout for author's opinion. What it did was that, because I was so focused on finding the author's opinion or a suggestion, I would miss other and
Yeah.
anybody else had a suggestion, right? I would miss that. If anybody else
Mm-hmm.
had an opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I would miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would miss some details which, which question probably you asked you on. So now, while I
Yes.
focus on the author's opinion, I keep telling myself that, okay, that's not the only thing that you need to focus on. There could be, there are other things as well. So now, like,
Mm-hmm.
defocusing myself from that focus area has helped me focus on
Mm-hmm.
other things,
Very
which,
good.
has helped a little. The only problem I face now is, I think, where the issue is, that I do not still analyze the answer choices very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even after having this level of understanding of the passage, I did get the question wrong, and
Got
I
it.
and I know where I made the mistakes. But again, at
Mm-hmm.
least there were, if there were two problem areas that I had previously, I know what I have resolved one of them. So now it's on the I'm on the last bit of getting focusing a little more on the answer choices, because I think the the level of detail which we read the RC from, we don't do justice to the same. We don't do the same analysis to the answer choices actually.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there are a lot of there are a lot of pitfalls in these that are embedded in these answer choices as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's equally important to read these answer choices also very, very carefully, because a lot of time you
Mm-hmm.
fall into these trap answer choices just because you
Mm-hmm.
have that confidence that I've read the passage really well, so
Mm-hmm.
I know it in and
Mm-hmm.
out. But
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of, you start again doing the fall, you start falling into that trap again where you're skimming the answer options. Okay, fine, this doesn't
Mm-hmm.
look like it, this looks like it, right?
Got
So
it.
I'm now forcing myself to read the answer choices also with the same detail,
Mm-hmm.
in order to make sure that I nail the last bit of last 20-25% of accuracy that I'm falling behind by. I want to nail that as well. So I think that's the next step for
Very
me.
good. Very good, Saurav. Thank you so much for detailing it out so very clearly. I hope that all the students have understood that it's not about just going through the content, it's about making that content your own. It's about understanding where is it that you're faltering and identifying those faltering points and correcting them one by one. You can't correct all the possible faltering points altogether. There has to be a hierarchy that you have to follow, and that's exactly what Saurav is doing. That's exactly what Disha is doing now, right? So while in the previous sessions we've been more focused on high level issues that people are facing in stage one, and as they move from stage one to stage two, the kind of issues that they are facing. Now in today's session, what we have seen is that when you are past stage one and stage two thresholds, and both Disha and Saurav are past those, how is it that you now take that same process and you've made it your own? And what does that your own look like? One example of that, what we found was the kind of notes that Disha is taking, the kind of accuracy that she is experiencing, and then where she's making mistakes. Why is it that the same reasoning is not going to be applicable now? Because she's already crossed that ability level. The same thing is with Saurav. You saw the kind of analysis that he did, and thank you, Akhil, for identifying this part. That understanding of opening sentence was long, and but it was great. In fact, Saurav, I don't know whether I mentioned that in my comments or not. When I saw you read that entire sentence in one go, I was like, this guy's going to falter, because he's not pausing at the right points. I don't know whether he's going to get the entire gist of the sentence in the right manner or not. But when you started explaining, I'm like, God, this is good, really nice. So why I'm telling you this is that if I were reading that sentence, I would have read the sentence slowly, right? Because that is how I assimilate information. But Saurav is at that point, and everybody has their own way of reading, has their own way of contextualizing information. Saurav has developed those neural connections wherein when he reads the sentence, he doesn't need to pause as much as somebody else may need to. Okay. And that is something which I want all of you to understand. Whatever stage of learning you may be at, okay, you have to understand that that stage of learning will, if you're in the earlier stages, you have to understand the intent behind those earlier stages, right? And so that when you get to stage three, this is where you will be at. This is where you will need to get to in order to be able to express your ability in the test environment. Okay. And in stage 1 and stage 2, you're building that ability. But you can't rush through the process. Okay. You can't be where Saurav is today, where Disha is today, right now. You have to do the hard work to get there. They have also gone through the same content that all of you are going through. Okay. So this is where I wanted today's session to be more like showing you the vision of where you need to get to, and the kind of effort, the kind of introspection that it takes. Okay. And which is where a number of you are, even though you are in stage 1, I needed you to be in the session so that you can see so that you have the clarity of your goal. Does that make sense? Need some comments from you all right now. What does this mean to you? Was this helpful for you? Is this giving you more motivation of how is it that you need to continue on your journey or make certain changes in your journey so that you can get there? And while you guys do that, let me open this other account. Okay. Good. All right. So let's take a look at now. So while you guys do that, and so Amarjeet, you're struggling right now in cementing. We'll talk about this, but I would actually send you to a certain recording. So I'm going to make a note of this query over here, and I will send you. Actually, you can look at the recording portal that we have, and just put in over there. Search for cementing, and you should be able to look at the recordings where we have talked about this. Okay. All right. So let me look at Darshal's question. Joined e-GMAT, so I'm pasting that over here. Okay. Exam is on 29th April. Okay. Struggling with RC in terms of not fully, some silly mistakes in quant. Should I continue staying on this forum? Okay. So Darshal, you're here, right? Yes. So your exam is in 4 days. Okay. And what's your target score? So if your exam, okay. Yes, Disha, good. Very nice. So I'm looking at your scholarinium. If you're taking the exam, okay, you haven't done much at all. So how are you taking the exam on 29th April? Did I read that correct? Yeah, Darshal, go ahead. I'm looking at your account only, right? Hi, Mohit. Good to see you. Okay, Darshal, you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, hi. So, sorry, I've been taking more mocks on the MBA.com website, and over there, my score range is close to 585 to 600. So, the range is between 525
Okay,
to
doesn't matter. What's your target score?
target score, I would say around 640, 650 ish maximum, because I feel that that's good enough from my side.
Okay, Darshal, I really cannot say anything right now because you haven't done much on the platform. So I don't know what you expect me to say. You don't get 640 or 650, right? You get 645 or 655. That's another thing. And if you're
Right.
targeting 640 of the old one, then that's equivalent to 595 of the new one. So that's another thing which you have to understand. So you
Yeah.
haven't done much on the platform. So your scores are bad. There is no L20. So you haven't gone through the e-GMAT course. So the e-GMAT learning philosophy. So I don't really know what you want me to tell you here.
Okay, I mean, I was actually trying to understand what others were talking, and yeah, maybe I can use that approach for the upcoming exam.
You
But
can't. You can't. I'll be very honest. No, you can't. See, others
Okay.
have gotten, and I'm being very honest here. I can tell you, oh yeah, just go ahead and do this. That's not going to help. Okay. This test
Okay.
is more like a mock for you. Okay. And you should take it as a mock because you've already invested in it. I don't think you can change it. Are you going to get any money back if you extend your test? Can you extend your test now?
I'll have to check. I'm not sure. I'll just check.
What made you take the test date? I mean, when, yeah, and this, so see, all of the guidance that I give, that's based on students attempting the e-GMAT course. I look at the data, and based on that, I do the analysis and I give you feedback. In the absence of that, I cannot really say. All I'll say is you need to read properly, comprehend the passage properly. How you do that, which will depend, that there are those strategies that you will need to do in order to be able to do that, right? And in 4 days, you cannot build that kind of muscle. It takes effort. Okay. The kind of stuff that you're asking me today is that I need to go perform, I need to go play guitar on stage in front of 300 people, and I don't know how to play the guitar. Can I do that in 4 days? The answer is going to be no.
Right.
Right. So if rescheduling will take around 12,000 rupees is what Sadnik is saying. So I would suggest, yes. You see, even if you take it, so sort of that's what I would have said, take a mock test, but frankly, so how much money would it be to, so if you were to take the test, if you were to rebook the test, because you will need to rebook the test, you will need to take the test again, right? So how much money would that be? 25,000, right? How much is it?
Yeah, close to that. 25, 30,000 between that.
Yeah. And if rescheduling is 12K, I would suggest reschedule it, right? Isn't that better?
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I mean,
frankly,
I'll give it a thought. Yeah.
see, because the thing is, either it's a very expensive mock test, right? 12, right? So, but you will anyway need to reschedule it, because unless there is God's grace and you get lucky in every question that is there, and you get to that 645 score. So yeah. All right. So, but otherwise, it's going to be, you can't. I mean, GMAT is a test of ability. You haven't built that ability, right? So when you're expressing that ability is right now low, right? So you will probably get around 575, if at all, that, right? So around that, so low, so less than 605 score. But yes, you can experience the mock, the environment and the stress that's there, but still that stress is not going to be the same as you would experience in the actual environment. Why? Because your ability is not the same, right? Your ability will have improved next time.
Right.
So yeah. Yes, Sagnik, yes. Thank you, Sagnik. So yes, I would suggest make the decision as to what you want to do. But if you truly want to improve and get that 645 score, then definitely you will need to prepare the right way. Okay, and the way you're preparing is not the right way to prepare. Taking mocks before establishing your ability is, I can't even think of a comparison. Mocks come at a very later stage. That's to express your ability. Your building of ability happens when you're going through the course and in stage 1 and stage 2. Okay.
Sure.
All
Yep.
right.
Thank. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I know this is not what you wanted to hear, but
No, I appreciate the candid reply. Thank you.
okay. All right. But I do want to see you back. Come join us. I mean, tell us how it went. 29th April is your test, right? So come on 1st May. Tell us what the experience was, and then we can talk about the next steps. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Will do.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Sukhjeevan. Yes, it is you. You're in Canada, yeah. So, depending upon East Coast or West Coast. If it's East Coast, then it's really late. Yeah. All right. So let's take up one more question here. Whose question should I take? Somebody wanted me to do their account analysis, right? Who was that? DI time management in one of these sessions. Okay. So Saurav, yes, I will do that. Why don't you? So let me. So I'll take a look at your account. Okay. So and then I will see what I can tell you about that. Okay. So who said? Tana, can you put in your email address in the email box? Shivani, put your email address too. Shivani, I already have Shivani's. Okay. 3, that's it. Okay. I'm already over time right now. So Tana, Shivani, Neelama. Okay, these 3. Okay, cementing, Abhishek. Okay, 4, that's it. No more, please. Yeah. Okay, 4. So Tana, where's your email address? Here, is it TJ? Is that the one? I think I'll have to do first come, first serve for questions now, right? Otherwise, Tanu, wait, where is it? Oh, it disappeared. Can you put that again, Tana? Because when you said yes over there, the email address disappeared. Guys, and I want everyone to basically put in your comments on the YouTube video that I have sent. Let me share the link again. I know you guys are dropping off right now. This one here. Please, I would want to see your comments over there. So, all right. TJ. This is a launch video, Mohit. So I've just posted that on YouTube. So I would want your comments over there. Coach Connect. Okay. All right. So let's take a quick look. I like that you are following your study plan. Oh, this is nice. Perfect attendance. Hours need work. So 100% consistency. Okay, another. So Tana, or are you preparing full time for your GMAT? This is the kind of discussion that we had yesterday. If you prepare, you are preparing full time. Okay. So see, consistently you're putting in 4 hours, right? And that is good. I would say, can you push yourself to spend 6 hours? If yes, then do that. Okay. If you cannot push yourself to spend 6 hours a day, then I would suggest that you lower down your planned hours. Okay. Because again, last week also you were not able to put in 6 hours. This week also you're not able to put in 6 hours. The reason for that is that even though you're showing up, your diligence is going to take a hit, and that will not send a good message when you log into your environment, log into your portal. Does that make sense, Tana? Okay, so that's one thing. Again, I would suggest lower it down from 6 hours, lower it down to 5 hours, and then try to hit that. It's always, I mean, if I have a calorie goal of 1,000 calories per day, and what I'm hitting is consistently only 500 calories per day, every time I see my rings not closing, I feel bad about it, even though I'm putting in the effort, even though I'm trying. So what's better is for me to set my calorie goal at, let's say, 550. Now that 500 to 550 jump is a lot easier to do, right? And that's where I'm going to make those adjustments in my schedule so that I can get there. That's the same thing that I'm asking you to do. So for the following week or going forward right now, change your expected planned hours to 5 hours. Okay, and then try to hit those hours so that you get that diligence also closer to 100%. Does that make sense, Tana? So that's the shift that I want you to do. Now let me take a look at your account, and okay, I don't like this. These are bad grades, and this is in master comprehension also C grade. What's going on here? This is very similar to the discussion that we had in yesterday's session, right? Yeah. So what I will do, Tana, is in the interest of time, and again, all the recordings are there. Let me make a note for myself. I will send you the recording in which we talk about why such grades are not good and what is it that you need to do. Okay. This, if you continue progressing this way, you're not learning the content the right way. You're putting in the effort, but you're not learning the content the right way. Okay, so I want to make sure that you start learning in the right manner. Your goal over here needs to be to understand each and every aspect of the content. Okay, and right now you're not doing that. Make sense? So I will send you a couple of videos, send a few recordings in which I have discussed this with other students. Okay, and there I talk about why this is not good and what should be redone. Okay, in my opinion, you need to redo the course. Okay, if in must, it's very difficult to get C grade in master comprehension. Only 15% of people get C grade in master comprehension course. Okay, 85% of folks get A grades. Okay. CR, if you're getting C grades consistently, in fact, yesterday itself we had, so I'll share the recording that we had yesterday. And yesterday we had that kind of discussion. There was one student, and I think it was Keshav, right? Keshav or somebody, yeah, who was getting C grades consistently, but then he did some intervention and he suddenly started to get A grades. What changed in the mindset was that when you are interacting with the content, don't worry about the time. Just be completely focused in that content. Okay, it doesn't matter how long it takes for you to go through that content. Okay, what you have to do is assimilate everything because right now you're building those neural connections. Okay, and that is something which you're not doing right now, Tana. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'll send that to you and then look at this and then tell me what changes you're doing in your thought process when we meet on Tuesday. All right. Okay, let me take up the next account. Next, who was after Tana? Shivani. So let's do that. Tana, okay. Thank you, Saurav. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen now. This is Shivani's account. Yeah, Shivani, you had requested for mic, right? Can you request again? All right, so perfect attendance, hours need work, so no study days, okay. You can't request again, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, request now. Okay, why do I see so many no study days? Shivani, you still can't. Okay. Okay, why don't you go ahead and use it now? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, Shivani, it's not very clear.
Sorry. Hello.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Shivani.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. You're just cutting up a little bit. Why don't you type? So you are in cementing stage right now,
Yeah.
or test readiness?
Yes. So I'm in the cementing stage, but the issue that I'm facing is that when I did pretty well in the learning phase, but as soon as I came cementing, I haven't been doing great there, and the scores are really low. I was expecting that, considering that I had learned well, I would have been doing well in the course, but the scores don't seem to kind of reflect that. The issues that I
And
probably assessed.
go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, and before that, for your first question on the no study days, actually, I've been having a pretty hectic days in my office work these days, so I haven't been able to devote the time to study for some days. So apart from it, I mean, I try to study as much as possible, and also the no study days are also because of the fact that I have been trying to analyze all the tests that I've taken, cementing quizzes that I've taken, and probably those don't count as study days or study hours in the course. So
If you
that's
if you
probably one of
attempt
the other reasons.
no, so if you attempt those quizzes as custom quizzes with incorrect answers, they will count.
Mhm. Okay, I was
Okay.
actually analyzing the sections that I've given already and just trying to see what I missed and what questions did I get incorrect. So I mean that analysis actually doesn't count as hours. So I mean that analysis portion attempts hours do count, but the analysis part it doesn't count as hours. So I was actually giving that time to analysis, but it showed no study.
Okay. Do one thing. I know, Disha, you had also mentioned this part. So when you are studying, so this is not related to your account analysis part, but this is
Mhm.
feedback for me, so that I can take it back to my technical team. So tell me the hours. So let's say if in a day you're spending 2 hours, and of those 2 hours, only 1 hour is being accounted for here, but you're still on the e-GMAT portal. Just write down what were you doing on the e-GMAT portal. Okay,
Sure,
and
sure.
create an account for maybe 2 to 3 days. So Disha
Mhm.
and others also, if you guys can do that, and basically give me the delta between the hours that you see being tracked over here versus what you actually spent. Okay, and that would be good for me. That then I can take that back to my tech team and I can ask them to implement that. Okay.
Great, thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now coming back to where you are at here. See, I will um oh I've given, so what kind of, and when you've done analysis on the incorrect questions, where do you see, what's happening? I mean, there's so many things that we've talked about. Are you not linking information? Are you not doing pre-thinking? What's happening there?
Yes. So I'm able to identify the conclusion. I'm able to visualize the conclusion in maximum questions. The only part I faltered is at the pre-thinking stage. I'm able to ask that pre-thinking question. I'm in the framework, general framework, but I'm not able to think of scenarios. And most of the times
Okay.
that I've analyzed is that the pre-thinking that I do and the pre-thinking that's given in the question are sort of different. In fact, largely very
Okay.
different. So
Okay. Do one
I
thing.
generally then
Disha, Disha, hold on. Given where you're at, in medium also your accuracy is so low, okay, you shouldn't have even gone to high. You've just wasted these questions. Okay. So and you have attended my sessions, na Shivani?
sorry, pardon.
You have attended these sessions, right?
No, it is the first time attending this session.
Oh, this is the first time. Okay, then it must be some other Shivani because I've seen your name. Okay, sorry about that. Okay,
No,
so
no.
here is what I would suggest. Create an error log entry for me for two medium questions. Okay, that you
Okay.
got wrong. Pick
Mm-hmm.
up any two medium questions and I will send you. So let me just send that to you. This is a specific way in which you have to record the error log entry. So Shivani, send the information about error log entry. Send that to me so that I can review it. Okay.
Okay.
Because in the absence of that, I won't be able to pinpoint exactly where you're faltering. Right. So do
Okay.
that. And if you can send, maybe I can spend some time tomorrow reviewing it because I know it's the weekend and you
I'll
would
just
want to
try to
utilize
get
the
Yeah,
right? So send that to him. I can't promise, but I'll try to. Okay.
that is
So
okay.
tomorrow morning, I think around in the morning hours, I can maybe spend some time. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so send that over to me, and then because there's no point in you going too hard. You have to first
Mm-hmm.
fix the process. The process is not working right now. Okay, so send that over. Okay,
Yeah, so
now
Payal,
let me.
actually, I went to the hard questions because I actually had exhausted all my medium spending quizzes, and then I couldn't attempt any more because I was actually looking at all the solutions and everything and putting in the
Hold on,
questions in the
hold
array
on,
log.
hold on. Don't worry. Don't worry. One thing at a time. And I think this is a mistake that a lot of students do. They just keep practicing, make more and more questions. Practicing more questions is not going to get you there. We have to fix. The good thing is that you already have these questions. We will be able to fix your thought process on already answered questions. So don't worry about the number of questions and all of that. Okay. So
Okay, thank
just
you.
send me the error log entry one thing at a time. Understand the level of detail that I want in that error log entry. So you saw the video that Saurav had created, right?
Right.
Right now there, so I need that kind of video wherein you're
Okay.
reading the passage, right? So wherein you're reading the passage, what I want to gauge is, are you reading in the right manner or not? Okay. So you saw the comments that I had put in for sort of. Now there, it was all positive comments. There were certain things that I want, certain suggestions that I gave him. So those are the things that I'm going to do. So send that over to me. I will be able to. There's something not right in your reading process, which is why you are scoring low over here, which is why whatever
Mhm.
you have learned in the course is not getting translated in the timed environment. And we have to figure out what that is. All right. So send
Okay.
that over, and then
Thank you. Yeah.
we'll
Thank you so much.
don't attempt any other questions. Okay.
I won't. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Amarjeet Kumar, I think you may also be facing the same thing. Okay. So I would suggest Amarjeet. Abhishek, I will look at your account right now. So Amarjeet, you also give me your error log entry. Okay, so those of you, okay, here's what I would suggest. Those of you who have done well in the course, and by done well, I mean you have A or A minus grades, maybe one learning level B grade is acceptable, okay, and who are right now struggling in cementing, send me your error log entry so that I can guide you. Okay, let me give you the routine for that right away. I know I had emailed it to I know I had sent that as chat to some folks. So let me just give that to you right now so that that is also done. Um, okay, and do not attempt any more questions till the time we are not able to figure out exactly where you're faltering. Okay, does that make sense? Now, what this part over here I had sent to Saurav. It does say how to record RC error log entry, but the same thing will apply for CR as well. Okay, for CR here I talk about, so you all can see the notes here, right? Yes. So this is the session recording link, and this is the timestamp. Here I talk about selective passage analysis because it was RC. I just needed him to record one passage. Again, for CR, you will record the entire argument. Passage integration, again, all of this is there. Identify question type, obviously that's not going to be applicable here. It's either assumption or weaken, right? And then so send me all of this information, and then I'll be able to pinpoint there. Okay. All right, so this I think covers most of it. Neelama, okay, yes. Let me look at your account, and then there's one more that I have to see, right? And that's Abhishek's or Neel. So good. I like that you're using the study plan. Attendance champion. That is good. Very nice, Neelama. Look at this. This is what I want to see. 100% consistency, 101% diligence. And look at the hours here. Consistently 3 hours, that is good. Although I would want a little bit more on the weekends, Nilima. But this is nice. How does it feel to see such kind of dashboard? Last week also amazing, 23 and a half hours. Nilima, I think I want you to speak. How are you making, are you preparing full time, or are you are a working professional, right? You're in stage 1, stage 2. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Nilima. Oh, did she just log off? Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so she's doing really well here. Let's look at her CR. Good course grades. Nice. So has everyone observed that now in the module view also you get to see your results here? Nilima, you're back? You just did? Yeah. So we just made that enhancement so that as soon as you attempt the file, you can see what grade you've gotten. And then for detailed view to look at your median score in that file and all that, you can go to the journey view. So yeah, so CR course completion is good. Let's look at RC also while we are over here. So very good. I like what I see. Nilima, how are you making it possible? That's really good. Are you speaking? So, okay, you're meeting this. Medium is fine. Let's look at hard. Hard is also good. I think you have to just be a little bit more precise in what's happening here. 19th April, good. All right. RC is good. RC you haven't done. Cementing. So what are you doing right now, Nilima? Are you trying to speak, Nilima? Or chat? Trying to see her question here. So Nilima, what I would, yeah, so I think she's having a problem connecting her mic. Yeah, now she is. Yeah, go ahead, Nilima.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I work in a PSU where I work in shifts, so I do not have a typical weekend structure. So that is the reason I'm unable to. Yeah.
Okay, but good job staying consistent. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I am very proud. I'm very happy to see that. So how are you? How are you that consistent and
Thank you.
diligent, putting in the and the quality also? This is amazing. You are my student of the week, Nilima. I can say that.
Thanks a lot. That means a lot, actually. The only motivation that keeps me consistent is that I want to join and for executive MBA, and I want to apply it in the first round itself. So at any cost, I want to give the exam in the July, most probably.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
because of the
You should be.
paucity of time, I felt like I should be very consistent and diligent in what I'm doing right now, since now or never. And right now I'm at an age of 31, so I feel like I do not have the freedom to give a number of attempts. So yeah.
No, nobody should have to take GMAT multiple times. One attempt, you should be done with it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping that I can enable for students. But in the next Coach Connect meeting webinar, Nilima, I want you to share your daily schedule with the
Yeah.
students so that they can understand what kind of adjustments you have made in your life. Because it's one thing to say that I want to attempt as soon as possible, but how have you translated that in order to see such a kind of performance? That is very important. That how part, right? You have your why, right? But that how part is what I would want you to explain, and that would be really beneficial for everybody. Okay, so coming to your question, what is your question right now?
Yeah, the thing is, I have given cementing quizzes.
I
In
can see
fact,
that.
I guess the cementing quizzes corresponding to the hard level, I have given all the three at once, like right one after the other. So
Mm-hmm.
I did not understand why did I falter at the third attempt, because I guess the first two were I did like better,
Okay, did you use the prism feedback to identify where you're faltering?
Yeah,
Have you looked
I
at?
guess like the third one is the timed environment. The third quiz was in timed environment, so which added a lot
Okay,
of pressure to me.
hold on. Did you look at these priority levels in prism feedback?
Yeah, I did, but
And
but I
what?
don't think I have made a lot of sense. Like I could not get much from it.
Okay, what did you not get? Okay, so here is what I would. This is your first quiz, and this is again applicable for everyone. Let's look at how Neelima is doing here. First of all, amazing course grades, right? And that's what it's translating into medium, which is telling me that you're applying the process even in the timed environment. So that is not a problem for you at all. Now, there are for certain questions you're applying the process in the timed environment. For certain questions, you are buckling under time environment, and that is
True.
what we have to fix in the cementing stage. Okay, which is where the prism feedback comes into picture. Okay, so after you attempt, so in this quiz, if I were you, or so if you were to do it the exact in the precise manner, you have to take this feedback now, and you have to understand. You don't have to put your brain as to which questions to review first. You simply go to the feedback and you start off over here. Now, these questions are where you spend a lot of time. Okay. So, did
Yeah.
you figure out why you spent so much time? 6 minutes for this question when the median time is 2.5 minutes.
Mhm.
Again, this one is not that much. I don't know why this one is showing up over here. Time is okay over here, right? So, here you have to do that strategic review and understand which aspect of the process you were not able to apply. So, did you do that?
Yeah, I guess the thing is there are particular passages which are dense in verbiage. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm unable to make sense of them when I read it at once. So I kind of reread it.
Mm-hmm. So that is what you have to fix, because see, this is the timing problem over here. If you observe, you've spent additional 2.5 minutes here, additional 3.5 minutes here. Here, these two are fine. Then over here, time to ability, even though you answered these questions correctly, look at the amount of time that you've spent, 4.5 minutes here, right? So these are your opportunities to identify where you're faltering, and then you apply those, and then you apply those learnings to your next quiz. Okay. Otherwise, if you continue doing quizzes after quizzes, your ability is going to stay there because you're not doing anything to enhance your ability, or maybe there's going to be a slight improvement in your ability. But then the moment there is a certain combination of questions that you get, and now all of a sudden all the holes in your ability get exposed, that's when your accuracy is going to drop down, and that's what happened with the third quiz. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so that's something which you have to which you have to look at. Okay, so what I want you to do is that I want you to review your first quiz. Okay, and do a detailed analysis of where you are faltering, and I want you to send me this prism analysis. Okay, for each and every question over here. From there, I want you to give me the learnings that you have, and then repeat that same analysis for quiz number 2 and quiz number 3. Do not take any additional quizzes, and send me one error log entry. Maybe you can send me the error log entry for this one question in which you took a lot of time. Okay, send that over to me, and then send your analysis. You have to do all of this before you take up any other quiz. Okay, you are there, you can get there very easily because your neural connections are already formed in the right way. You just have to make those tiny adjustments. Okay, and you should be golden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, good. And one last account, and I am already way over time. So that was Abhishek, right? Mm. Abhishek, I don't see your email address. Okay. Okay, so Abhishek, you're also preparing full time. That's why I see the hours. So same feedback to you. Be more realistic about your hours. Okay, same feedback as I gave to, who did I give to? Shivani, I think. Okay, let's go here. What's your question, Abhishek? You may have, okay, course attempt is decent. It's good. I think you're facing problems with cementing, right? That's what you said. So same response to you. Medium, it's sporadic here. And you are so good that you asked me this question right away. So same response to you, Abhishek. You have to figure out you're doing the course well. Okay, no, do not move now. Do not move to hard cementing. Do not do any more medium level. No new questions. I need to see same thing that I told to Nilima, that I told to yeah. I want to see your error log entry. Okay, and yeah, so do that. So send me the error. No, I don't want to see the Excel. I want to see one video. Okay, the one that I have sent over here. Right. So send that over to me. I want to see your thought process. Okay. And then, so if you all send it to me by tonight, then early morning tomorrow, I can sit and review this, and then I can give you feedback via video so that your weekend is more productive. Okay. So the onus is on you guys to send as detailed of an entry that you send me. That's going to be beneficial for me to pinpoint where your issues are. Okay. No, don't send it to the support ID. Send it to this Coach Connect page here. No, not to my email. Let me share this again. So have you guys looked, you guys would have looked at this Coach Connect portal, right? Share my screen. So submit a question. So this portal has all the session recordings. So all the previous recordings are here. In fact, this recording will also be, sorry, Abhishek, yes. So all of this, so this was launched yesterday, okay? So simply click on submit a question, submit your questions here, and then this will open up. I think this is the, this will put in your email address over here, and then the type of question. You guys will be selecting error log entry review, and then select the section. And then here, tell me the quiz name and the quiz attempt. That way I can log into your account and see which quiz it is. And I can get the entire question also. Put in your question in an image format. Just take a snip of that and then upload that in this form over here. So you'll be able to, say, I just put something here, image, and then text, okay? And then you basically put in the text over here, and you can drag and drop the image here. And then put in your video link, and then what your cause and corrective action is. Okay. All right. So that's about it then. And I would really want all of you to put in what your feedback is for the session over here. This will just ensure that more and more people start attending these sessions, right? And this will be good for e-GMAT community in general. Okay. So thank you so much, Shivani, and all of those who came in today, and our first timers, and the folks who have been attending the session as well since quite some time. All right, so that's about it. I look forward to seeing your error log videos, and then you'll get my feedback tomorrow. Okay. Bye, everyone.